welcome to Catholic Girl Talk. Today I have Sarah, and we are talking about receptivity. Before you move on, make sure you subscribe to Catholic Girl Talk, click the bell so you get notified, follow me on Instagram where you'll hear all the latest news and updates.
And I think we live in a world of brokenness. There's more and more pressure to be okay outwardly, right? To seem like everything is fine. I think appropriately, right? Like in the context of like peer friendships and things, like we have to be willing to be vulnerable and authentic and share our own struggles. I think the opposite of like authentic femininity isn't authentic masculinity, right? Like they're complementary. But I think like the opposite of like authentic femininity is like a turning inward, a selfishness of heart, and an unwillingness to be vulnerable to others and allow others to be vulnerable to us.
Truth bomb. It's so true. What an important distinction to make, though, because I think so much of the time we get caught up in our culture, like you have to be this one way, but man and woman, they're not opposed, right? The opposite, just as you said, of femininity is not masculinity. The opposite of masculinity is not femininity. They're complementary, but the difference of those things is like a non-virtuous man or woman, right? So a virtuous woman will be authentically feminine, which is exactly what this quote says. It will be mistress of itself and also of her body, paraphrasing there. An authentically feminine woman, right, is not one who is just blown about by her emotions or, you know, by chasing after some sort of idea of perfection or professionalism, right? She's grounded in who she is in the Lord, which is our last series, practicing and cultivating those virtues in her daily life, right? Of discipline, of things as simple as I'm going to wake up at a certain time every day, right? Those things are helping to shape who you are. And when you have that strength of character cultivated by those small actions throughout your day, right, you're growing into the woman you are called to be. And when you are free in that, because it gives a lot of freedom, then you're way more disposed and ready to be receptive to other people. So I think that is an important part of femininity is we have to look at ourselves and say, how am I growing in virtue? Another one, how am I being filled up? Because as women, we are receptive, we are vessels. And so am I being poured into so that I can then be open to others and pour into others, right? So all that we talked about, as Edith Stein here says in the quote, right, you can't have all of that without first that well-ordered life and well-ordered relationship with God, and then everything flows from that. So do you want to read that quote again? So
I do. Maybe
just take a moment to just sit with this quote, and now that we've kind of discussed it, see how it strikes you in a new way or a deeper understanding of it.
The soul of a woman must be expansive and open to all human beings. It must be quiet so that no small, weak flame will be extinguished by stormy winds. Warm, so as not to benumb fragile buds. Empty of itself, in order that extraneous life may enter and have room in it. Finally, mistress of itself, and also of its body, so that the entire person is readily at the disposal of every call.
What we were talking about, authentic femininity, is this receptivity that has to be cultivated first by this like discipline of our own lives. And this receptivity is something characteristic of all humanity, but specific to women in a unique way.
We have to make sure that our receptivity is understood properly. So it's active, right? It's actively disposing myself to be at the service of first God's call, and second to like the human persons around me, right? And that's not a passive thing, right? Being available to a coworker or to a teen or to somebody that I know is hurting. The receptivity in that moment might look like I'm going to sacrifice part of my lunch to go to the chapel and pray for this person that I know is really struggling. It might be that, like, I have plans, but I'm going to stop those plans so that I can see a friend in the evening who's really struggling. Yeah. Or just to further build community with people, right? We aren't meant to live in isolation. We're meant to be in community. And part of receptivity is like recognizing when I need to be cultivating that community actively with one person or with a group of people. Yeah, so I think the hard takeaways here are that the feminine soul being quiet, being receptive, isn't to say that, like, the feminine person, it doesn't mean that my personality has to be quiet, has to be subdued, or I'm not feminine, I'm not authentically a woman. It means that I have to be disposed to other human souls in a particularly feminine way, so that men can be disposed to other human souls in particularly masculine ways.
And everybody can grow in it. And we can always look to the Blessed Mother for help. Don't forget to follow on Instagram, subscribe, click the bell to get notified. Have a beautiful day, and God bless. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember what the series is about.
Sure.
Femininity.
Is that what it's for? It's to catch, like
the shh.
Yeah.
Kind of. Have to say this every time?
Yeah.
Don't look at yourself in the screen.
I can't. That's like my one weakness. Do you remember?
Yes. The authentic feminine.
You know.
Makeup.
Is everything
lipstick.
good over here?
Yes.
Yep.
Truth bomb. Stop the video
Split
right
out.
there. State it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Subscribe and click the bell. And that was really screechy. So click the bell to get notified. Now just smile at the camera for a few minutes. Okay, because I have to do thumbnails. It's so annoying to try to
find one shot. Is that going to be really super
annoying.
audible?
Yeah, but it'll be fine. It's
yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it.